morning, beautiful. It's lovely to see you. Lovely to be in here. I hope you saw the pictures I took on my walk to and from the top of the hill. There's no view. We're up in the clouds today, but there's so many spiders' webs and they've all got gems on them, you know. So take a look if you haven't, because they're beautiful. And today, we have rocks because we're inside. And I'm going to show you the rocks. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Finn. You beautiful person too. You're all beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you so much for coming on. This obviously is quartz. You can see it's a bit skeletal. It's from the Brandenburg Mountains and it's Harlequin quartz. I'm trying to make it so. See the little dots? Some of them are black and some of them are red. Don't know if you know, you family in Australia. It's a small world, Finn. It really is now. Sanchia, good morning. There are so many of us and we're connected in so many ways. Look at these little dots on the Harlequin quartz. And also the fact that it's got little bars across the beautiful shiny surfaces. Far away only in the illusion of space and time. In time-space, we're entangled. If you share resonance, if you share a sentiment, actually, if you share neural nets with a person, in other words, if you have things in common, because that's what shared neural nets actually are, you have the same experiences, you have the same interests, you have the same whatever, then you're quantumly entangled and the space and the time makes no difference, really, at all. Oh, cool and getter. Such a small world. Let me go on with the rocks. Now, this, strictly speaking, is not a rock. It's technically called an Andara crystal. And there is great argument about whether that means it's slag glass or whether it's a real thing that's formed in the earth. And I don't know. We found this in my husband's mother's house after she died when we cleaned it out. And it has these mysterious surfaces on it that could be manufactured. I mean, that really does look manufactured. And it certainly fractures like glass, except for this, which is really weird because that is really flat. And glass doesn't normally break like that. So I don't know. I haven't a clue. But it's a fabulous yellow thing, and we enjoy it. Yeah, it's lovely. Whatever it is, there's so much argument about it. Don't know what it is, but it's lovely. Oh, and and more mystery. The surface is really flat, look. But I've got to catch the light on it. It's not that flat. So, who knows? Now, this one's a bit challenging to pick up. Definitely a two-handed crystal. I don't know what the thing is about Andara crystals, Sunshine. I did a little research about them years ago, and it's like, oh, whatever. Because there's just argument about it. Glass technically should be volcanic. But also, it might have just been made somewhere. Who knows? This is quartz with tourmaline and hyalite on it. And it's from the Erongo in South Africa. And it's amazing. Oh, honey, you are the crystal. Just remember, whatever we have outside of ourselves just becomes some kind of talisman, some kind of placebo, some kind of thing that helps us focus our intention and believe that whatever we want to have happen can happen. Stones do have properties. They all have a resonance. They all inspire us one way or another. A brick inspires you a certain way too, right? Everything's got a resonance, but just remember, don't give your power away to a stone. Enjoy the stone. Enjoy whatever it is, but just remember that you are the one that does the healing. You are the one that does the creating. Always. And I'm really passionate about that. So, look at this. It's got this blade. It's got a little tower. And this big point, which is just covered with stuff. And it's quite hard to hold this because the hyalite is really fragile. So I want to keep my fingers off it. But, look at the bottom of it. There's just so much to see here. And you can really see the tourmaline there, just spiking up through. It's not just on the outside of this. You're actually looking through that quartz point. You can probably see it's three-dimensional. It's not only on the outside. So it's a fabulous piece. Now, today I want to talk about busy brains. Brains that won't slow down. I'm warm. It's humid here today. Brains that will not shut up. Brains that won't let you think. Brains that are anxious. And brains that are always anticipating the worst possible outcome or trying to second guess. You know, you've made a choice, but you can't rest in it. You can't relax in it. You think, did I get it right? Oh, and your brain goes round and round and round and round and round and round. That's what I want to talk about today. Now, what's actually happening from a neurological point of view? Good morning, honey. And bear in mind that I am not a fully qualified neuroscientist, but I've learnt quite a lot of stuff from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is my inspiration. And I'm even starting to, watch a few TED Talks and get more information because I've realised I want to learn more. So, what's actually going on when your brain is doing that crazy thing where it just won't shut up and you can't rest and you can't relax? What's happening is that your brain is going fast. Now, what do I mean by fast? Brains produce brain waves. Most of us know that brain waves can be mapped and measured. And there are 4 kinds of brain, actually 5, but we're probably not going to talk about the 5th one today. 4 kinds of brainwave states that most people's brains inhabits. Oh, keeping centered under stress, not letting the anxiety take over reason. Totally. Yes, absolutely. I'm really glad this is timely. So you, me, everybody, when you're awake and paying attention to the outside world, living, breathing, doing stuff, we are making what beta brainwaves. Beta, right? And beta brainwaves are, let me get this right. Yep, beta brainwaves, they start at 12 cycles a second, and there are 3 kinds of beta brainwaves. 12 to 15 cycles a second is you, me, relaxing, reading a book, chilling out, no stress, no threat, just really okay. Great way to study, great way to be thinking, great way to be learning, great way to be, well, actually you don't learn in beta. You got to get into alpha to learn. Talk about that in a minute. Beta brainwaves, paying attention, outside world is more real than your inside world. If you're listening to a lecture and you're having a great time and the speaker is entertaining and the information's interesting, that's cool, you're in low beta. But if the speaker says, oh, by the way, there's going to be a 170 question test at the end of this lecture and you can't go home until you pass. Well, you're going to kind of wake up and perk up and pay more attention, and it's a good stress because you're interested and you know you're going to pass. It's all right, but you're paying attention now. So, I better pay attention. I better make notes. This is mid-range beta and it's 15 to 18 cycles a second. I think that's right. Still trying to memorize those numbers, and just it's one of those things. I don't bring those particular number ranges back into my mind often enough to remember them, but I get better at it. And then if there is a lion in the room, if you are feeling stressed, if you're feeling threatened by a challenge in your life, by a health condition, by someone else's crisis, by a stressful work situation, by a relationship that's difficult, by financial challenges, whatever it is, and you let it get to you, or it gets to you, or a piano falls on your head or whatever, you go into what's called high beta. And that's, 19, 20 and up. And it can get really high. It can get as high as 50 cycles a second. And when your brain is doing that, you are in the state that is equivalent to there is a tiger in the room. I'm going to either run away from it, I'm going to fight it, or I'm going to freeze and hope that it doesn't see me. Those are your choices when your brain is like that. And which is, not conducive to managing difficult circumstances well. Because you're ready to hit somebody, run away from them, or freeze in terror. So, it's not a good state of mind to manage something challenging. So it's a really good reason, this is a really good reason why we need to be able to slow our brains down. The other thing that happens, if you are running away from a lion, the only thing you are interested in is how quickly the matter of time matters, how quickly you can get yourself and your body through your environment from where you are to where you want to be. If you can get away from that lion or not. And if the lion is, I've got to build you on this day and I can't see how in hell I'm going to get enough money to pay the bill by that day, it's the same situation. You've got a predator. My bills are going to eat me. And you've got your life. This is the forest. I got to dodge that rock. I got to go around that tree. I've got to try and stay up on my feet. And by this date, I have to get away from that predator. Same situation, except that unlike the gazelle and the lion, or the cheetah, or whatever it is that wants to kill it and eat it, because the lion also needs to eat, that chase is over in minutes. But for us, we can be running away from that line of debt for days, weeks, months, years. Difficult relationship. Carrie, great to see you. All those things can be like we're constantly in that state of running away from the lion. And when you are running away from the lion, how fast do you think your brain is working, going from that tree to that rock to this piece of ground that I've got to, step over that thing and not fall over, and I've got to keep myself upright, and I've got to, The brain is working very quickly, just assessing hazards and managing stuff and getting by, because that's all there's energy to do. We need to survive. We've got to mobilise everything in order to survive. So the brain actually becomes fragmented instead of focusing on this thing and, and these nice thoughts and you're paying attention and it's all cool. It's just going from here to here to here to here to here, trying to make sure you survive. Now, like I say, if the lion chases and you either live or you die, that's over quickly, one way or the other. But if the lion is, there for 2 years, then what happens is your brain just gets stuck in that state. And that's the over-attentive, over-focused, over-obsessed, second-guessing, can't trust myself, there's too many threats in the environment for me to ever feel safe. That's what's going on when that's happening. So that's why we need to do something about it. Now, before I completely run out of time, which I haven't yet, that's the brain in stress, right? When you manage to slow your brain down, you can get into what's called alpha brain waves, and that's 8 cycles to 11 cycles a second. And that is when you're just daydreaming or imagining or relaxing. It's like young children past the age of 7, maybe before the age of 11 or whatever, their brains are in alpha a lot of the time. And their imagination is so real. Riyadh, it's lovely to see you. So we must let go of fear and step into love, but how do you do that? And that's what I want to talk about today. And, fear is this incoherent state in the brain. Believe me, it's been measured. I know it's true. Love, your brain's in a very different state, so how do you slow it down? But first we need to know why. So it's like that. It's when you're in alpha, you're imagining, a child, you say, go and play and be like that, and they're having their tea party and they're doing it with mud and sticks and things, but to them it's real, okay? That's alpha. The inner world is more real than the outer world, but you're still conscious, you're still awake. Oh, you daydream all the time. Great! I love it. When you're going to sleep at night, and the lights go down and you start to get sleepy, and then you're heading into alpha. And when you go to bed, you lie down, you turn out the lights, you shut your eyes, and, in all things equally, your brain sort of goes there, and you get sleepy, and you're in between sleep and awake. That's theta. And theta is 4 cycles to 8 cycles a second. Brain is going slower. You can see it on the, And when you get to sleep, delta, 0.5 to 4 cycles a second. You are out of it. You're gone. Deep restorative sleep. So, and magic happens in theta. And the 5th brain state is gamma, okay? It's actually faster than alpha. It's faster than even high beta. But it's different. That's all I'm going to say about gamma. Gamma's amazing. So, how do you slow this crazy, over-focused running away from a lion forever and ever and ever, so that it's just become completely used to always going from one problem to one thing to one person to this problem to that situation to how can I fix this to I can't see the answer and I have to make a decision and I don't know because I'm running away from a lion. I can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out. And I have these same redundant loops of thinking go around in my own head sometimes. Stuff that comes up and I think, oh, but I want this and I want that and I just can't work it out, and I want this and I want that and I just can't work it out. I want this, I want that. And I realise I'm just going round and round and round the same circle. That too is an incoherent state of mind. Now, it doesn't last for me long because I know what to do. So how do you stop that? People did research and they tried to figure out, this guy did research and he wanted to figure out how to change his brain state from beta to alpha. And I've heard Joe explain this in a workshop. He spent 13 days doing everything. He chanted, he did nostril breathing, he did, visualize, he did everything. Everything. And at the end of 13 days, he just said, screw it, you can't do it. Doesn't work. Nothing happened. 13 days of doing every technique he could find. Didn't do a bloody thing. Gave up, because he was hooked up to biofeedback, right? Gave up, went, let go. And guess what happened? He went straight into alpha. He stopped focusing. He stopped trying. Now, yesterday, we did the whole thing of changing your state and coming into I can't even remember. We changed our states yesterday. We made everything bigger. We opened our focus. We got bigger with our awareness. We started with the heart and we got bigger. When you do that, Linda, great to see you. When you open your focus, when you take your focus off the lion, the debt, the relationship, the sickness, the job, when you stop going, oh my God, this thing's awful and I can't figure it out, and I've done all the research and I've tried to put it together, and that's being over-focused, right? And you second guess yourself and you're trying to get more information and the brain's going from this to that to that, and you know what that feels like. When you just let the hell go of it and you put your awareness into space, what happens is, and this is fact, it's been measured and mapped so many times. That's why we practice the open focus in various ways. When you open your focus, you stop obsessing about the thing and you let your awareness go into the space around you. All those those neural nets that were saying, oh, there's the lion, there's the rock, there's the tree, there's the river I got to jump over. Oh, all of those neural nets that are going like a lightning storm inside your head, you stop paying attention to them. You literally take your energy out of that neurological tissue. It stops firing. And then it can slow down. That is the how. And the practical how of how to slow your brainwaves down from high beta to mid beta to low beta to alpha and even deeper is fundamentally to practice the open focus. Now, there are some fabulous meditations that Dr. Joe Dispenza has made which help you learn that, and his books, and I rave about it all the time. I don't know who else teaches it. I mean, the Buddhists have been doing an open focus meditation for thousands of years. But Joe is the only person I know who's wrapped the science around it so well that I can explain it to you in 10 minutes, because I learned it from him. And it's beautiful because I have days when I start with my meditation and I know my brain is reacting to something. It's decided there's a lion and it's, and I open my focus and sometimes it's a freaking wrestling match in there. It is a screaming match. It is no, I'm not going to, no, I'm going to take my attention off all of that. And I have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until finally I feel it drop. I do. I know what it feels like now. When I'm in high beta, I know what it feels like when I'm in moderate beta. I'm wired, man, but I can't actually settle down. I know what it feels like when I'm in low beta. It's comfortable, but I'm not really connected. When I start to get into alpha, the energy starts to move in my brain and my body. When I get into theta, my body goes to sleep. It just stops. My brain is sharp and clear and present with everything, but my body's asleep. It's so good. I'm so glad it makes a difference, Sanjia. I know this is part of my job, is to make just a few more people and ultimately a lot more people aware of what's available. Yeah. And I know it's my job to help people put it into practice. Mwah. I love you both too. So, to open your focus, to get your attention off the thing that you have been obsessing about and trying to get clear about, because when you open your focus into the space around you, And we did that yesterday, and it's just the space around your head or around your body. Oh, can you get into the space in the room that you're sitting in? Can you get into the space around the house or the apartment or whatever that you're in? Can you get into the space of the area that you're in? Can you get into the space of the planet, of the solar system, of the galaxy? Can you make your awareness bigger? And when you're doing that, you're not paying attention to the thing you're obsessing about, then your brain can slow down. And what happens is, as I said, my brain slows down, I get into alpha, and I can feel that, and I get it coherent. Even coherent alpha is such a huge relief, because now I can start to feel more like myself again, and I can hold the question that I was obsessing about half an hour ago, however long it took me, in my awareness, and I know the answer. And sometimes the answer that I know, and just I know, sometimes the answer that I know doesn't please me. It's not what I like. Maybe it scares me a little. Maybe it requires me to go outside of my comfort zone to walk and live and breathe in accordance and alignment with what I know to be true in me. But it's unarguable and it's unequivocal. I know. And there is no argument. And you know what's really hilarious? In that moment, there's no argument. I know, I'm so clear. And sometimes I come out of that space and my brain starts up again and says, oh, are you sure? Really? Did you mean it? It's like, I know. Because I've learned that I can trust what comes to me when I'm in that state, when my brain is so calm, slow, that it's connecting to information that is not normally available to me, because now I'm in a different state. And I'm literally open to different information. Here's a parting shot. Did you know that the only information that can get into your brain is the information that is equal to however you're feeling at this moment? So if you're constantly running around in tight circles and feeling stressed and not trusting yourself, the only information that can get to you is equal to that. More of the same. So if you want new information, if you want to feel clarity, you have to do what you have to do to slow your brain down, and then you will know without a shadow of a doubt. You may argue with it when you come out of that state, but the next time you go back in, it'll be a little bit easier to know. And it's a wrestling match. If your brain has been used to running the show for however long, the brain has become the master instead of the servant. You are the mind, not your brain, but the brain has been hardwired. It's running automatic programs of this is how you are and this is what you can't do, and I get to just be like this, because remember, the body's conditioned to it. And it's a wrestling match. If you've been doing that for a long time, you've got to understand it's not going to be easy, and the brain is going to shout blue bloody murder at you to say, no, you can't do this, it's impossible, it doesn't feel good, And I mean, in fact, it feels bad. And you're sitting there and you're wanting to slow your brain down, and it's just like hell inside your head. All you're doing it right. All that's happening is you're really seeing and feeling and sensing and perceiving exactly what's always been going on in there, and you just never saw it, and it was too hard to sit in the fire with it and wait for it to burn away. So, that's what I wanted to share today. I know I'm out of time. Big love, beautiful beings. Thank you for sharing the journey with me. And damn it, I'm going to take another 30 seconds because, I don't know how to say this, I have evolved my coaching offering. Yes, I have. It's been a long time. It's a long story. I had a light bulb go off because somebody wonderful just gave me a great idea, and I realised that now I want to offer an 8-week program of 1 hour a week. So if you're interested in that, drop me a line. 8 weeks to create some change in your life. Find out about it. The information's on my website. You can see that. Or if you're interested, let me know. I'd love to play with you and create and help you do more of this for yourself. Big love. Look out for the resonant replays in the weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Until then, bye-bye.